Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 11 of the anime series, Scorching Ping Pong Girls. This episode took somewhat of an unexpected turn for me, in that I knew going in, based on the PV attached to the previous episode, we'd be dealing with somewhat of a training camp framework, but little could I have suspected we'd be debuted to a brand new character with somewhat of a long-standing history with our main cast of characters, with the exception of Coyote, and most specifically Agati. There's a level of bad blood and estrangement in this girl who just appears out of nowhere for the first time. Kumami, with her bear motif and all kinds of foul-mouthedness, her language used through this talent of ventriloquism. She has the little bear sort of hairband in her hair, doing all the speaking for her, using all kinds of sailor language, and it's kind of, eyebrow-raising that, but the fact that Agati, who gets the main focus throughout the course of this episode, is so having a hard time wrapping her mind around why would Kumami come back now, of all times, and not be in any way, shape, or form willing to play me in a game of ping pong, in table tennis. Apparently, they used to challenge each other. They might have been best of friends. It might have been very much a similar framework between Agati and this Kumami, as it is now between Agati and Coyote. Remains to be seen, but for whatever reasoning, this girl, as Agati would put it, went on to greener pastures. She found herself going to a more elite school when it comes to this table tennis league sort of scenario, and she's been able to turn it around to be able to cherry pick all kinds of the best players as she sees them and bring them in, usher them into her school to make her school a powerhouse. And so already we're seeing that whatever the next leg of this venture will be for these Scorching Ping Pong Girls, effectively here is a potential baddie, a potential, nemesis, opponent to come in the future, an oncoming storm with a lot of personal history with Agati, and that could be quite compelling. I'm a little dismayed as of the time of this recording, having found out that we are apparently looking at one singular episode left for the season. Episode 12 is apparently the finale, and who knows how long we're going to have to wait for a season 2 or whatever like that, a second core, whatever you want to call it. It just kind of dismays me that we're not going to be able to continue on with this, especially being that this training camp framework is apparently where the girls are going to be spending the majority of their time for the time being, with Agati really needing the help of Coyote and Hokuto and Hanabi to, sort of come to terms with how frustrated she's feeling and why, and be able to sort of acknowledge that and reveal that to them, and then make sort of that, promise between she and Coyote to focus on her smashes and focus on trying to figure out what her problems have been, especially in the previous practice matches, in going into a preliminaries framework, building up to potentially trying to reach for nationals. They still have the preliminaries to go through to even qualify for, and Agati's very much fearful that she doesn't have what it takes. As good as she is, she still has to perfect her game, very literally. And so we see the girls coming together after a nice, jaunt in the hot springs and everything like that. And, of course, Hokuto beaming every other word and still calling everyone by their panty colors and everything, although, when it comes to Kamome, she's frilly panties, so whatever, take it or leave it. But it's really kind of, a half and half compelling scenario to me, as well as a dismaying scenario to me, because we're not going to have any of this really answered so far as we know if we're only looking at 12 episodes, and that makes the next episode the final episode for now. We're going to have to wait a while to pick up with this again, but I mean, at least in the sense that we're looking at some really intriguing opponent type characters, from Karuri and her crew to now Kumami, and I can't wait to see what, school she represents, if it is, as I speculate and suspect, possibly calling back to the very first episode where we had that Homura Akemi-looking character, as I refer to her, in the pre-credits sequence of the first episode of this season, who beat the hell out of a character that looked very much like Coyote, and I've compared her to to that character. I don't know if that was Coyote. I don't know, who this character was, if she's representative of the team that this Kumami, this very enigmatic and seemingly potentially nefarious character represents and is, in league with. I don't know exactly, but it's definitely going to be leaving me grasping at straws and waiting with bated breath to figure that out at some point, because of just how, it was almost like a 180-degree turn we saw Agari go through. She's been utmost confident for the most part. And this is really the first time in the stretch of this game, in the stretch of the season and the series, that we've seen her suddenly having doubts and doubting her capabilities, and even worrying that, Karuka, the team captain, is, kind of pointedly telling her, practice, practice, practice. Get whatever these problems you're having, get them down, work them out, fix them, come back better, come back stronger. And it's cool that, Agari has friends like Coyote, Hokuto, and Hanabi, mostly Coyote, who is willing to go to the nth degree to try to help her. It's somewhat frustrating that Agari, still at this late stage, can be so sort of tsundere-esque, turning Coyote down at every turn. And what are you talking about? I don't need your help. Well, I guess I'll take your help, It's like, come on, Agari. You've been in the thick of it with her for this long. Stop being so tsundere. Stop trying to turn her down and then only, reluctantly accept her help and everything like that. You're bigger than that. You're bolder than that. And you've come so far with her. You need to, get it aligned in your mind, your partners, your friends. And so, yeah, it was a compelling episode. But because, of course, we're left with one singular episode left for the season, I don't know whether I should get as excited over it all as I was during the course of the episode, only come to find out, well, we got a single episode left. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what exactly happens in the finale episode. It looks like there's going to be a lot of practicing, potentially a falling out. At least it was cursorily hinted at based on some of the dialogue we were seeing, that somebody's going to be, having to sort of become forthright and talk back against some of the characters. I don't know if that was Agari or not, but it'll be interesting to see. And this was definitely an interesting episode, to say the least. So yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.